Hey, what's going on, guys? So for the past 40 years, Bandai and Sunrise have been coming out with amazing Gundam designs to be the symbols of their dozens of different anime series. And while the lead Gundams from each series are generally beloved by fans of the series, some of the designs are a bit controversial, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, which lead Gundam designs are the most controversial, and I'll also let you know which, according to you guys, are the least controversial as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. And real quick, to sponsor today's video, we have TOKYOTREAT and the Sakuraco. So real quick, we'll take a look at these boxes before we get into the discussion. So starting off with the TOKYOTREAT box here, this is a monthly Japanese snack subscription box where you'll get a bunch of the latest exclusive limited edition type Japanese seasonal snacks. The theme for this month's box is Akiba Adventure, and it's filled with limited edition exclusive pop culture snacks from around Tokyo's #1 spot for all things manga, anime, and electronics, Akihabara. As you guys know, I've been to Akihabara many times and made a number of different videos about different shops around in Akihabara, so check those out if you guys haven't seen those. But in this box, you'll find stuff like Autumn Chestnut Kit Kats, Mystery Flavor Fanta, Puku Puku Lemon Tea Taiyaki, and of course, as always, the booklet, which is one of my favorite parts about these boxes. It's so cool to read the booklets to check out all the information about Japanese culture, Japanese history, detailed information about all of the snacks included in the box, of course. And it's just a really great booklet to look through if you're a fan of Japanese pop culture. Here's an interesting fact for you guys. Of all the time that I spent in Japan, living there, traveling there many times, I've never been to a maid cafe. I know it's one of those things that you really just have to try it. I've never actually tried it, so maybe next time. Now, honestly, there's so much stuff in this box that I want to try, so I'm just going to rapid fire a bunch of these. This is the Kitsune Udon. Having a different instant ramen or udon or something like that included in each of these boxes always makes for a really good lunchtime snack for me. Mystery Fanta. I don't know what the mystery taste is going to be. I'm guessing like soda. No, I don't know. Yeah, something different, but it's good. Miso Katsu Jerky. This has got to be one of the weirdest things that I've seen, to be honest. It's literally like a flat piece of miso katsu, sort of. I don't know. Tastes like miso katsu, but I have to say I've never seen anything like this before. It's good though. We've got this tiny disposable camera shaped candy dispenser. When you press the button to take a picture, it opens up the front so you can get the candy out of it. And it's not soft candy either, it's hard candy. And of course this 100 million yen fish jerky classic. This thing looks hilarious and of course one of the Autumn Chestnut Kit Kats. As for the Sakuraco monthly subscription box here of Japanese snacks, this is more for traditional and authentic artisan type Japanese snacks. Sakuraco partners with local Japanese snack makers to continue to share Japanese culture and traditions that have been passed down for hundreds of years. The theme for this month is Colors of Koyo, and again, the included booklet is amazing for going into more detail explaining about the theme by talking about the culture, the history of everything involved there. So in this case, talking about how autumn lasts from September to November in Japan. And similar to the Sakura season, Japanese people go out and enjoy autumn through a tradition known as koyo. Koyo is a word that refers to the changing colors of the autumn trees and leaves. So essentially people will go and spend time outside enjoying the beautiful amber and crimson colors. So some of the included snacks are going to be maple leaf shaped, so momiji manju, momiji cookie. We also have walnut mochi. I personally love mochi. And a lot of savory snacks like hand-grilled taco senbei and spiced arare. And of course with the Sakuraco box you also get a different tea every month, and so all the snacks pair really well with this month's autumn genmai tea. The other great thing about the Sakuraco box is you always get a piece of tableware included in the set, and this one is a really nice small little dish here. You can see it's stamped on the bottom, and then you have just this small ceramic dish with some beautiful design around the edge. Here's another interesting fact for you guys about when I lived in Japan. I lived in Nagoya, which is in Aichi-ken, and we have a cool little prefecture spotlight here about Aichi, so that's really interesting to read. It's famous for miso, and I have to tell you guys, if you ever travel to Nagoya, you have to try some miso katsu. So of course we have to try some of the momiji stuff. This is the momiji manju. I love manju. You can see that maple leaf shape there on it. Wonderful cream inside there, and paired with the autumn genmai tea. Yeah, really nice. You can really tell that it's a tea made with rice. It really reminds me a lot of boricha, which we drink in Korea, which is like a barley tea. So it's made with roasted brown rice. Definitely has a similar kind of flavor to it. Unfortunately, my momiji cookie on a stick got a little broken there, but let's give this a try too. That's really nice because not too sweet, but nice crunch, nice flavor to it. Another thing that I love to try in the Sakuraco boxes is always the jelly. This time it's a persimmon jelly. Persimmon, something that I never ate growing up, just because growing up in the Midwest in the US, persimmon, I don't know, it's just, I'm sure it was around, but we never ate it. But it's something that I fell in love with living in Asia because it's delicious. If you guys have never had persimmon stuff, definitely try it out. Really nice, yeah, really good. This has a really nice consistency to it too, where it's like not like a watery jelly, but it has a little bit more like firm consistency to it. Really good. Anyway guys, so if you want to check out either TOKYOTREAT or Sakuraco, the link will be down in the video description below. You can use my coupon code ZAKU to save $5 off your first box. I honestly really like these boxes, so I love sharing them with you guys, but I know you're here to check out the content of today's video, which is talking about the most controversial Gundams, so let's get into that. So recently, I'm sure you guys have noticed that I've been posting polls on my channel here, asking your opinion, whether it be positive, neutral, or negative regarding a bunch of the lead Gundams. So I've got the results here. They're in for 34 different lead Gundams. We're going to go through these. First of all, before we get to the most controversial ones, let's talk about which ones were the most positive results. So these are the ones that had the highest positive numbers and therefore, you know, the lowest in terms of people who either neutrally or negatively enjoyed the Gundams. And I should also note that for this, I meant that just like I was talking about the Gundam's design. What are you guys' thoughts about the Gundam design in general, not the actual model kits? I know based on a lot of the comments that I've seen that people were answering the polls based on the model kits, not the Gundam design, and that's fine. So again, this is all not, you know, entirely super scientific, but just based on how you guys answered the polls. And interestingly enough, the Gundam that came in at the highest positive rating actually was the new Gundam at 88%. Only 11% found it neutral, and only 1% didn't like the new Gundam's design. So based on what you guys said, I read through some of the comments. Basically, people just like the cleanliness of the design, how sharp the design is. They thought it was a nice return to a little bit more simplistic design after going from the ARC-782 to the Zeta with its transformation and everything, and the double Zeta, which was this massive transforming thing. And it was kind of a nice return to the more simplistic, clean, simple design. And a lot of you guys also liked the asymmetry of the Gundam, especially on its backpack, of course, with the fin funnels. The Gundam itself, I guess most of the Gundam is symmetrical except for the arms. The arms are asymmetrical, the backpack's asymmetrical. And it is one of the very few examples of asymmetry amongst the lead Gundams that were pulled anyway. Some of the other Gundams that also ranked very highly in terms of positive scores here after the new was actually the high new, going from 88 to 86%, so very close there. You guys love the new and the high new apparently. After that was actually the Full Armor Gundam Thunderbolt. That one had 84, so not too far behind there. You guys really like that design. I was actually kind of a little bit surprised by that one. That one actually ranked higher than the ARC-782, which came in at only 73% positive. After that, we had the Aerial Gundam at 82% positive. I have to wonder if a little bit of that is skewed just because of the hype, just with it being the newest lead Gundam with the anime series currently ongoing. I imagine that that's probably inflated a little bit because of the hype. If I were to ask you guys the same thing a couple years from now, I think probably the Aerial Gundam would score a little bit lower than that, but currently, according to you guys, 82% positive on that. Then we had the Unicorn, the Exia, the Barbatos all came in at 80% positive. So, you know, those are some of I mean, as far as like what model kits we get from Bandai, those are some of the most popular ones. As we know, we always get new model kits of the Unicorn. The Exia is another pretty popular one. It's one of the very few Gundam designs that has a perfect grade kit. There's a very short list of those. The Barbatos, no perfect grade yet, but based on this, maybe we are due to see a perfect grade Barbatos sometime in the future. All right, let's next go through a few of the Gundams that were ranked highest in terms of neutral answers. So these are the ones that you guys felt the most neutral about. The top of this list is going to actually be the Victory Gundam at 39% neutral. It had only 51% positive, so about half you guys feel positively about this. The rest are mixed, 39% neutral, 10% negative on this. So its negative score is actually not that high compared to a couple other ones. You guys we'll see here once we get to the most negative ones, but it is the highest in terms of neutral response. Some of the things you guys mentioned, that the design is very simple, very sleek. Some of you are mentioning that in the comments as a positive. Some of you are mentioning it as a negative. Some of you guys didn't like kind of how simple the design is, and that's kind of how I feel as well. I like it. I think if I were to answer this, I would also feel kind of neutral about it, because I do like the simplicity, but then on the other hand, it is pretty simple in a bad way too. I don't know. You guys mentioned that it was kind of bland, and compared to the V2 did score better, with the Victory Gundam coming in 51% positive. The V2 had 64% positive, so more, and the neutral response dropped from 39% to just 29% neutral on the V2. So still about a third, almost a third of you guys still just feel kind of neutral on the V2. I also personally prefer the V2, but they're both pretty similar for me. Next after the Victory Gundam was the Shining Gundam at 36% neutral, 52% positive, 12 negative. So not too different from the Victory, actually. The Shining Gundam, another one that you guys feel pretty neutral on. That's kind of surprising for me. I thought the Shining Gundam would probably rate a little bit higher, but these next few, on the other hand, aren't very surprising at all. We have the Age 1 normal at 31% neutral, 61% positive. So still pretty high positive score, not too bad, but quite a lot of people kind of neutral on the Age 1 normal. The G Self at 31% neutral as well. And interestingly, both the Build Strike and Build Burning Gundams came in at 33% and 34% respectively. But what was more interesting for me was the fact that the Build Strike had 59% positive, the Build Burning 56% positive. So that means that you guys liked the Build Strike Gundam more than the Build Burning Gundam. I thought it would have been the other way around. They're pretty close, it's not that much different, but you guys pretty neutral on both of those. The Double Zeta also came in at 32% neutral, only 59% positive, 9% negative. Okay, and so now we'll get into the most negative, so I guess that would mean the most controversial Gundam designs probably, and the one topping the list is one that I would say I'm not too surprised about, is the most controversial one. Place your bets in the comment section down below. Before I read you guys the answers on this, go down to the comments. You know, I've already named a few. I've already talked about quite a few different Gundams here, so based on the ones that I haven't talked about yet, go down to the comments, write what you think is going to be the most controversial Gundam design. But here are some of the ones on the list. Before we get to the most, like I mentioned, the Build Burning came in at 10% negative, the Victory 10% negative, so those are, you know, relatively, it's still only 10% negative. That's not bad. 1 out of 10 people don't like the design. Overall, most of the other Gundams came in around 3, 4, 5, 6%, so that's not too bad. The G Self also 11% negative. That's also not very surprising. It's a pretty different design, obviously. The Shining Gundam, like I mentioned, has a 12% negative. And then we get to the Turn A Gundam. I would have thought the Turn A probably would have taken the spot as the most controversial design, but in fact it did not. The Turn A Gundam did have 17% of you guys say that you do not like it, so 17% negative, but still 57% positive, so that's more than the Victory Gundam, that's more than the Shining Gundam. So a lot of you guys do like the Turn A Gundam, and it had about 26% neutral on that, so not too bad. I didn't expect the Turn A Gundam to rank so highly, but I guess a lot of you guys are actually feeling a bit more positive, at least on the Turn A Gundam. But, you know, as I expected, there are quite a few of you who do also not like it. But the most controversial Gundam on this list by far, it was definitely a standout poll amongst all the others, was of course the Beginning Gundam. Some of you may not have even thought of that Gundam because it's one that some of you may not even know exists. Some of you probably completely forgot about it just because it is from the Mobile Suit Gunpla Builders Beginning G series. This was a 3-episode OVA series that aired in 2010 to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Gundam. It was pretty much panned by all critics and viewers. Not many people really liked it. I don't know if I've never seen it. If you guys have seen it, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you like the Beginners G series? It was, I think, very important because it was, I would say, definitely like a precursor to what we would see later in the Build Fighters and Build Divers series later on, which were much, much more popular. But yeah, the Beginning G Gundam was the only Gundam on the list out of 34 polls where the majority of your guys' votes was not in the positive. So it had only 26% positive, 51% neutral, so half of you guys were just kind of neutral on it, and then the highest negative score of 23 negative on that, so 23% negative. One thing that you guys mentioned in the comments, a lot of people said that they like the beam V-fin. That was definitely one of the most interesting aspects of it. I mean, just aside from the design in general, but the fact that it has a beam V-fin is certainly unique. One of you guys mentioned in the comments that it looked like a walking crayon box. I thought that was a funny one, and that sounds very accurate way to describe it, just because a few of you also mentioned just how busy the design is, very loud colors on it, looks very toyish. I think that definitely fits for the theme, for what they were going for with that. A couple people also mentioning that it looks like a tokusatsu style version of a Gundam. And yeah, if you imagine just like any of these like dozens of different like kids TV shows where they have robots, and there's like a million different ones, and like every country has multiple different just kind of kids TV shows these days, and if you just take a look at like any of the robots from them, yeah, the beginning G Gundam does kind of look very similar to those. Very generic, like kind of kids robot looking design. But I mean, I have to say some very interesting features to it. For me, I don't know if I would say it's my least favorite lead Gundam design. It probably would be very high up there amongst my least favorite lead Gundam designs, but it's got some really interesting aspects to it. It's a shame that the kits from that series are not produced very often by Bandai, because there's some interesting kits in there. The Forever Gundam is one that I've wanted to check out for a long time, but it's one that have never gotten my hands on, so maybe someday, whenever that kit gets reprinted, hopefully I can pick up the HG Forever Gundam. I think that would be a really cool one to repaint in some little bit more kind of earthy colors, like the Full Armor Gundam type colors or something. I think would be kind of cool. Obviously the Zaku F2000, probably the most popular kit from that line. That's one that I do have, and I have built and reviewed. And for obvious reasons why that one would be popular, the Zaku 2 F2 is a really great design, and this version of a Zaku 2 is so unique and different. Kind of makes sense why that one's very popular. But the beginning Gundam, not very popular amongst you guys. So I don't know, was that what you expected? Were you correct in guessing that that would be the most controversial Gundam design? I didn't expect the poll to go that way. I expected it to not be very popular, but yeah, it's kind of surprising that it was the only one where the majority of votes were not positive. Overall, for the rest of the 33 other polls, the majority were positive, whether it was, 51% up to 88%. The fact that they were all but one overwhelmingly positive was a little bit surprising for me. I expected some of them to be a little bit more polarizing one way or the other. I guess if I wouldn't have included the option of neutral, if I would have just had positive or negative, it might have been a little bit different, but I think still we would have seen the majority to fall in the positive side for all the lead Gundam designs. So I guess that goes to show that even for some of the less popular anime series, at least like here in the West, Gundam Age, Victory Gundam, I guess are a couple that come to mind as maybe some of the less popular ones. Still, you guys have a majority positive opinion about the lead Gundam designs. So would you guys like to see some more videos like this in the future? Maybe taking a look at like antagonist mobile suit designs or grunt mobile suits designs from different series. If you guys would like to see another video like this, that means that I have to spam you with a bunch more polls, so sorry for that. I had seen a few people commented along the way that they didn't like that I was putting out like a different poll every day, but it was for a reason. It was for creating this video. It was just out of my own curiosity, and I hope you guys found it interesting as well. But yeah, if you would like to see another video like this, not necessarily focused on lead Gundams, but like I said, another different theme for the mobile suits involved, definitely let me know down in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts just about the results. What do you guys think about that? And again, a big thank you to TOKYOTREAT and Sakuraco for sponsoring the video. Thank you to USA Gundam Store, of course, for all of their support. If you guys would like to check out some of the different kits, paints, tools, supplies, all that good stuff, check the link to USA Gundam Store down in the video description below. And thank you guys for watching the video today. If you'd also like to like or subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. But until next time, see y'all later. Bye guys.